Good morning, CWA family. My name is Colleen Burns. I am the AFA-CWA local president of Spirit Airlines Council 77, representing Chicago and Atlanta flight attendants. I am also one of the 17,000 employees who lost their jobs on May 2nd when Spirit Airlines ceased operations and shut its doors. For the last 10 years, I worked as a flight attendant for Spirit Airlines. I know it sounds cliche, but it wasn't just a job to me. It was where I grew up and found a community in my Spirit Airlines family. It's where I found my voice to stand up for others through union advocacy and became the woman I am today. Like so many flight attendants, I built my entire life around this career. My coworkers became family, and aircraft became my second home, and the world felt a little smaller because of this profession. Since December, many of us have been reading the headlines and rumors about Spirit's future and wondering whether the company would survive. We knew we were at a make it or break it point, but Spirit had always found a way forward, and we believed this time would be no different. You see, Spirit had secured approval for its restructuring plan and was working towards an anticipated emergence from bankruptcy. Sorry. For the first time in a long time, there was real hope that stability was within reach. But airlines operate on incredibly thin margins. As fuel costs rose rapidly, the administration's sanctions and war-related disruptions restricted our fuel supply. Operating expenses became increasingly unpredictable, and the path forward we believed in began to disappear. What had felt like a hopeful future had suddenly become uncertain, and the events moved faster than anyone could adjust. On the evening of May 1st, we received communication to join a call with our AFA International President, Sarah Nelson, at 11 p.m. Before she even spoke, I think we already knew. We were ceasing operations at 3 a.m. I don't have the words to fully describe that moment. The closest I can come is absolute devastation. The collapse of Spirit Airlines is a reminder that policy decisions aren't abstract. They have real consequences for working people. In the aftermath of a loss like this, you experience every stage of grief, not only for yourself, but for the people around you, the people who have become your family. As flight attendants, we don't simply work together and go home at the end of the day. We spend thousands of hours together at 35,000 feet. When something like this happens, you don't just feel your own loss. You feel the weight of everyone else's too. And bouncing back isn't just as easy as finding another job. When flight attendants start over at another airline, they start over in pay, in seniority, and in many ways in the life they've spent years building. So we aren't just losing our jobs, we lost our careers, our routine, our stability, and the futures that we had spent so many years building. But through it all, we have not been alone. Our union has stood beside us every step of the way. Union leadership fought for us in court, through legislation, and worked with other airlines to create hiring opportunities and create spaces where members could find support and be together. And as we move forward, that is what will carry us. That is what a union means. It means in our darkest moments, we show up for one another. Spirit Airlines may have shut its doors, but it did not break us. We are a family, we are the union, and no matter what and where our journeys take us next, we will carry one another forward and land on our feet together. Thank you all so much.
Good morning, CWA brothers, sisters, and siblings. My name is Don Reno Intreglia, and I am the president of AFA-CWA Local Executive Council 37, Orlando and Miami, representing the largest council at Spirit AFA. Like Colleen, I am also one of the thousands of flight attendants who lost their jobs when Spirit Airlines abruptly shut its doors. The loss of my career at Spirit was a brutal blow. My partner and I were both flight attendants with Spirit, and in an instant, we both lost our jobs. But what made it even harder was that we didn't just lose our income, we both lost our health insurance, including the coverage for my 14-year-old son. I'm also the full-time caretaker for my father, who has Parkinson's disease and Alzheimer's. So this loss carried into every part of my family's well-being. I felt like this was one of the saddest moments in my professional life. I loved our airline, I love our union, and I love the sense of purpose that I found in helping others every single day and fighting for this labor movement. When we got the news, I couldn't stop thinking about what it would mean for my union family. People who, like me, were counting on this job to hold their lives together. People who needed their company health insurance to stay alive through cancer treatments, and people who were the sole providers for their families. For so many, this wasn't just a job, this was everything. And overnight, we lost everything. We were down and out, but we weren't alone. Before this tragedy, and in the weeks since, we've had our union family, AFA-CWA, my mentor and one of my biggest inspirations for the labor movement, Sarah Nelson, have fought relentlessly to try to secure funding to save our airline and protect our jobs. Through every step of uncertainty, they made themselves available when we needed guidance, support, or just someone to pick up the phone. And after the shutdown, they didn't step back. They leaned in even further. They helped bring flight attendants home after the collapse. They mobilized emergency resources and established a relief fund to support those in the most dire situations. My colleagues who are facing cancer right now, families with children that have special needs, and households that suddenly lost both of their incomes like my own. The fund can be found on the slides that are going to be presented on the screen. If you'd like to support us, we would all greatly appreciate it. AFA also helped to secure employment for flight attendants at other airlines, both within and beyond the carriers that they represent. And the union continues to fight in the courts to secure the compensation that we're owed, like next week when we're going to be in White Plains, New York again, to show a face to the 5,000 plus flight attendants at Spirit Airlines in that courthouse. In the midst of all of that, they made us lifetime AFA-CWA members. And though that gesture may be symbolic, for us, it means the world. Because while Spirit was our workplace, the union was something deeper. It was a true family that showed up for us when everything else disappeared. And that union support, that solidarity, has meant more than I can fully ever put into words. Thank you. So I have one final ask. I know this is a political legislative conference. When November comes, I want all of you to remember your 5,000 plus AFA-CWA siblings whose jobs could have been saved if this administration wanted to save it, and who were put into this position because this administration decided to put us into a war we should have never been in. Thank you.